Hello, everyone. Welcome to the analysis meeting on December 2nd, 2021. On the agenda for today, we'll have a quick check-in just about finals week tomorrow and the upcoming break. And then we'll talk about the projects that we have in mind for the Zenith redesign, along with the timeline for each of them, when we want to get them done and help the team out. And then I'll talk about the avionics and payload coupler idea Kristen and I came up with. I think it's pretty interesting. Hopefully we can get some feedback from y'all as well. And then I'll talk about what we're doing in the lab tomorrow and some action items. The deadlines is not there, sorry. I just wanted to see what your final schedule and availability for winter break is looking like as we try to determine what we can get done and what we can start to, I guess, do. So we'll take it away.
All right, I can start off. So final schedule, I've got a final Saturday and a report on Saturday, and then I have a final next Thursday, and one on the last day, the 15th, but that one's not too bad. Availability, I'm pretty free until New Year's, and then from New Year's until I want to say around the 8th, maybe the 10th, I'll be like on and off. But after that, I'll be straight.
Okay, cool. Good to hear.
For finals, I have a presentation tomorrow, report due Monday, then stuff all next week, and one the Tuesday after. But after that, I'm pretty free until the new year as well.
Okay. Here.
For my final schedule, I have a project due tomorrow and the final during the lab time, so I won't be able to focus. Next week I have a final on the 9th and the 14th. That's next week. And the 14th. Those are my next two finals. And the project in the 9th. But during winter break I'll be free. I'm not gonna be doing anything. So whatever you have, I can probably do.
Good luck tomorrow.
I only have one more final on the 9th. However, I'm going to be transitioning to a full-time schedule at my job starting next week.
Okay,
So I'll be working 5 to 6 days a week.
sounds good. Thanks for letting me know. Mike and Will, I think that leaves you.
Yeah, I have an essay due on Sunday, then 3 finals on the 9th, and 1 final on the 10th. But after that, I'm done and I'm free until the new year because I'm traveling after the new year.
For me, an essay Sunday, final Thursday, final Friday, and then for winter break, I'm probably gonna go back to Austin, but I'll be able to work remotely and attend virtual meetings or whatever.
Okay. Don't forget you have that music test on the 15th, Will.
No, that's cash money. That ain't even a final.
But yeah, also wanted to say, if you are free and willing during the break, I do encourage you to get your L1. I know I will be working on it. I think Carlos is going to be working on it. Irvin's going to be working on it. Christian's going to be working on it. So at this point, like if you don't join in,
Yeah. Wait,
that's bad on you. Hey, I'll build mine.
No, I mean like.
Oh, my final. Okay, so I have an essay due Sunday. I have another essay due Tuesday. I have final on the 9th and the 10th, and then music exam on the 15th. But that's a secondary priority to the team.
Yeah, good.
All right, moving on to our redesign timeline. And I know this this kind of directly coincides with a lot of our finals, but I do believe we can get this done, and I'll talk about what each project is, I guess, as the meeting progresses. But the first topic, I guess, was the open rocket layout on November 26th, which was completed, and then also the RockSim. That's where we made the decision to shrink to 4 inches instead of 6, just due to the drag and I guess the speeds that it goes at to get us to 30K. And then we want to, or I guess the team as a whole wants to finish the Zenith redesign and make these sub-team changes by December 5th, which is this coming Sunday. Our progress report is due on December 10th, so there is 5 buffer days, but ideally, I think, and for analysis, the stuff that we're going to be working on should be able to be completed by Sunday if we put a lot of time towards it. Yeah, I'll talk about what specifically we'll be doing, and then hopefully that final CAD and everything kind of finalized by the 10th of December. But we'll see how this goes. With I know a lot of our work is also dependent on other sub teams, so our schedule may not be as concrete as it appears. We'll try our best to establish some deadlines and get these things done. So that brings us to our first kind of mini project, the nose cone drag calculations. So as you know, the PDR, we made some last minute changes due to a misunderstanding of drag force and actually, I guess, not accounting for the area under the curve, and rather summing all the points on the curve. So although we did recalculate it for the PDR design and accounting for the area under the curve and mainly the time intervals, we do need to update the simulation for the new design, which can be seen on the screen and is available in the drive. And we should still get that von Karman is our correct choice, but we do need to just verify that and get some concrete numbers down. It should be as simple as just running the different sims in OpenRocket, exporting that data, plugging it into the MATLAB code, which spits it out right away. So not too big of a concern, and should be able to be knocked out in about an hour or 2. And then also, along with updating that, I want you guys to make edits to the report. So first, I want you to reflect the changes made for the PDR and why they were made. You do have access to the PDR slides, and I can help you guys reason that out if need be. And then also update the changes and the new simulations made for the Zenith redesign, and then just confirm that von Karman is our best choice. So Will, I know you helped develop the code a lot and you've been working on the nose cone stuff for quite a bit. So if you and Amy can tackle this, that'd be greatly appreciated. Hopefully you both can make it to lab tomorrow and be able to just knock this out then.
I won't be able to. I have a group presentation in the middle of it.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will DM me. We can work out a time to meet face to face if you'd like.
Okay, I'm probably gonna go to lab tomorrow, so I can knock out as much as I can. Honestly, it shouldn't take very long.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I could do some in the morning
Yeah. Well,
beforehand. Yeah.
I'll message you or something.
Cool.
All right, we're good.
Now next is the detailed CAD model. So from our PDR designs, the main things we need to update, just kind of off the top of my head, I know there are some more, is obviously the diameter, including holes on the airframe, which for now, I think we should just place them as kind of Oberon was laid out. And from there, we'll just be able to edit the size and the location. I just want us to actually get it on there for now. And I can also help you guys if we look at the OpenRocket design. We can actually start to figure out, hey, where do we want to place these holes at and what size we want it to be. But two of the big things I want to say here is that one, I think you should talk to other sub-teams and make sure that we have an accurate representation of their system. Minus payload, obviously they're still kind of in the formative stages, so just leaving their stuff as its own coupler and pay is good. But the two sub-teams who I really want you to talk to are recovery and avionics. Talking to them about, how accurate do you need to get? I think a CAD of the avionics tray would be super helpful and necessary for this. But for recovery, I'm not sure if it's necessary to CAD every single component that they have for their separation system. More so just making sure that I guess we have something to represent all of that. And it's in the CAD and we can point to it and use it. And then secondly, Dom and alumni of the team had already actually started to make detailed models of different components of Zenith based on our PDR design. So if you reach out to him, I'm sure he'll be willing to share some of the models he made that can hopefully help you guys out. I know it's not the exact same, obviously, but using that to kind of give you a guide if you're stuck or help you guys out, maybe should be pretty good. So Christian, Nikolai, and Jacob, if you guys could get that done, that would be great. I don't think it'll take too long just because we already have kind of the stuff laid out. It's just making the edits and adding a few things here and there. So hopefully that can also be done by Sunday. But I guess we do have kind of that buffer time, but let's aim for Sunday and reevaluate then. Now, FEA, I guess Arturo, this is mainly for you. If hopefully if you're watching the recording. Also Omar. So our Oberon MMM FEA, as you all know, is incomplete. And the first priority with this is to get that completed. Just by whatever we deem to be completed, we want that to be done. Hopefully the goal is by the end of the year. I do want to schedule a meeting to discuss with both you guys what a realistic timeline looks like for this, because I don't want to give too much time so that it's kind of pushed off and we never really get to it. And I don't want to give you too little time so that it's kind of squashed together, kind of like the PDR. We don't have good results from it. But on top of the Oberon MMM FEA, I do also want to look at the modular FinCAN FEA. So the modular FinCAN is kind of what Structures is looking at now to secure the fins to the airframe, now that we moved from a 6-inch diameter to a 4-inch diameter. If you have seen Prometheus in the lab, you'll get a look at a FinCAN, which is just kind of like an extended section of the airframe where you can attach your fins externally. So the ideal what Structures is looking for is to have that, but also be able to remove the fins and make them modular. So I guess, I know Arturo isn't here, but if you're free sometime this weekend, hopefully we can meet up, talk about a timeline, also get Urban and Gus in the meeting, and see kind of what we're working with, what's realistic, and what we can achieve. And a big question I thought of is, how can we produce demonstrable results in a good time frame? We want to be able to obviously produce results. That's the reason why we're performing the FEA, but also most importantly in a good time frame that lines up with the rest of the redesigns occurring at the time. So I guess I'll DM Arturo if he watches the recording and we can nail down a meeting to start to discuss that. Now, fin design analysis. So one thing we're also going to be taking responsibility of, along with Structures, is determining a fin shape. So what fin shape is best for Zenith? And as we've all been talking about throughout the whole semester, it has a huge impact on stability. And I know with my designs in OpenRocket, I've just kind of been putting in kind of all the weights that we have in the locations that would be ideal, and then just readjusting stability by increasing the semi-span or the height of the fin, and that has a pretty big impact even at a smaller scale. I think changing the height from like 2.5 to 2.75 inches gives you an increase of like 1 to 1.5 calibers of stability. I think, yeah, that's definitely not right, but somewhere along that, like the magnitude is pretty crazy. So a thought I had was, obviously we're gonna have a ideal fin shape, probably based on our stability and what works best with Zenith right now. But we want to make sure that, I guess, there's a trade-off between having an ideal part versus how is it going to be manufactured or manufacturability. If it's a little too custom or too fine on its sizes, I guess it'll be harder to actually manufacture or machine the part. So that's something we definitely need to consider. And I guess for now, Mike, I wanted to assign it to you, and then hopefully Amy and Will, after you guys finish up the nose cone updates, you can move on over here and help Mike out with this. But I think the action item now is just to talk to structures and develop a plan as to how we're going to determine this. I kind of want to give you guys the freedom to kind of take the project on your own. I know it is finals, so I'll be helping you guys out, whatever you need. But just some 3 ideas I had in mind was, I know we'll probably end up doing a mixture of both, or of all 3, is just to have open rocket and rock sim simulations based on different fin designs. A trait study, where I think a big factor to take into consideration is the modular fin can and how different fins may fit in with that design. And then if we want to write an analysis report, maybe that's on the horizon or something we could do. But yeah, I guess to start thinking about that and hopefully reach out to Haley and just develop a plan as to what we're going to do from there. Now, the avionics and payload coupler idea. So while we're in the lab yesterday, Christian and I came up with the idea of combining the avionics tray and the payload into one single coupler. The main reason was because when we made the decision to switch to 4 inches, Carlos and Recovery noticed that they need a lot more vertical space because of the shrink in diameter. And with the way we usually set things up of having a separate avionics bay and a separate payload bay, I think we are taking up too much space for Recovery system to, I guess, be able to pack everything adequately. So this should be able to save us, I think, or it should give Recovery around 7 inches. You can find the open rocket design with this in mind on the drive. I think it's titled New Coupler or something. And it doesn't affect our stability that much, but there are some other factors that need to be taken into consideration before we decide if this is going to be fully implemented and something that we're actually going to run with. Yeah, just wanted to keep you guys in the loop, I guess, as to the designs we're considering. But if you have any questions about that, shoot away. It's,
I think maybe when presenting the idea, you could say like how much space this would like save in comparison to the other.
yeah, so
You said that,
I didn't say it on here, but I wrote on the back of that paper, I calculated the volume that we would increase, or the volume from our old design and then the volume from the new design. And we give Recovery 7 more vertical inches, which then is like, I think around 300 inches cubed extra. But I mean, they don't know the exact volume required for their system, especially in 4 inches. So not too helpful, but just to show that it does improve. So lab tomorrow, just kind of working on the projects we've assigned. continuing, putting our head down, getting progress on those. Then our action items, just Amy and Will updating those nose cone drag calculations. You can always come back to this meeting slide deck and look at specifically what you need to do, or just ask me. And also then moving on to helping Mike and structures with the fin design. And Christian, Nikolai, and Jacob continuing work on your CAD models, making those more accurate, talking to the sub teams as to how you can get more accurate. And John, hopefully you can share his models with you guys. And then Arturo and Omar, hopefully the FBA meeting this weekend, and continuing and finishing work on the Oberon. Any questions as of today?
I was just wondering like what the timeline is for the fin design like project, I guess. Should that be
So I think we
sooner, later?
definitely sooner. We should try and shoot for December 5th. The only thing is that it's going to be a little reliant upon structures and what their timeline is looking like. And I'm not sure if structures is on track to finish most of their projects by the 5th, but definitely try and get something good for the 5th, and then we can improve that, I guess, in the next 5 days as we move on to the 10th. But hopefully most of the work done by the 5th is ideal.
Copy that. I'll send a message to Haley tonight and see what their status is.
Cool, sounds good.
For the accuracy of like the CAD model,
Yes.
for the whole, I was going based off the open run kitchen. I was like basing the whole off of that. So we're on the whole mechanics, right? Is that good or you want me to?
So for the lower airframe, I think the holes sizes, I mean, we should just be able to change that like pretty easily in SolidWorks. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, but the positions, I guess, of having the rings aligned, I guess basing off of the open rocket, looking at like how much of the payload is going to be in one airframe and then one in the other, you'll have different amounts of fasteners in different sections. So for now, just follow Oberon, and then you can, I guess, as we get more information from other subteams, start to change that around. But usually, I guess you won't know entirely if it's going to be accurate until we actually start drilling the holes. So not too big of a concern, but just putting them in place so that we don't have to trouble with making that happen. Anything from anyone else? We all clear on what needs to get done. I know it is finals and we're all struggling with that, but really any work you can put towards it is greatly appreciated. Please remember that your classes do come first, but because we are in that kind of PDR grind, post PDR grind, so the work is much needed and encouraged. So please reach out if you have any questions. Obviously, lab time tomorrow, 1 to 3. We'll be in here continuing that work, getting some stuff done. So keep it up, guys. You've done a great job, and hopefully we can get a strong finish to this semester. Thank you for coming.